Whenever I fail, God fills my sails. And when I succeed, it's not only me, it's the limitless life that makes it all right. Through you and me, as harmony. I am enough. I'm made of God's love. I go with the flow, and God lets me know the balance of life is the dance of love. I am enough. I'm made of God's love. I go with the flow, and God lets me know that the balance of life is the dance of love. All right. Well, before we sing our next song, I just wanted to acknowledge that tomorrow is our fearless leader's birthday, Reverend Alice. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Alice. Happy birthday to you. Now it's time for all of us to stand and sing our next song.
Our disco song. Back to disco.
Love myself the way I am. There's nothing I need to change. I'll always be the perfect me. There's nothing to rearrange. I'm beautiful and capable of being the best me I can. And I love myself just the way I am. Now we're gonna sing I Love You. I love you the way you are. There's nothing you need to do. When I feel love inside myself, it's easy to love you. Behind your tears, your rage and tears, I see your shining star. And I love you just the way you are. I love the world. I love the world the way it is, 'cause I can clearly see that all the things I judge are done by people just like me. So till the birth of peace on earth that only love can bring, I'll help it grow by loving everything. One more time, let's take it up. Love myself the way I am, and still I want to grow. 'Cause change outside can only come when deep inside I know I'm beautiful and capable of being the best me I can. And I love myself just the way I am. I love myself just the way I
Good morning, beautiful center. I'm Reverend Carla Sharadas, and we thank you for bringing into this atmosphere of love the gift of your presence here this morning. Did you catch all the songs we were singing this morning? We started out, we were walking on sunshine. We love ourselves. and we're made of God stuff. If you want to hear more of this, you come here on Sundays. That's what we're full of. And if you're here for the very first time, we want you to know that we are a trans-denominational center. And so no matter where you are on your spiritual journey, today you're in the right place because you're loved and you're accepted, and we're excited that you're here. So welcome. We're going to start this morning with our opening ceremony, lighting the flames of faith. We perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples, all faiths, all sentient beings come from one great universal presence, which we call spirit. Fundamental to this truth is the unifying nature of all religious thought and experience, which we honor here today. We light the candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light the candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the candle for Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light the candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of compliance with the will of God as the highest calling. We light the candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light the candle for all forms of New Thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. And as our practitioner, Tony Sparks, lights the last candle, let it represent the path that brought you here this morning. And we're going to take 2 minutes to be in sacred silence together.
Let us pray. I recognize Spirit as perfect, whole, and complete. It is a source of good. It is the self-givingness of itself. It is the wondrous wisdom, infinite intelligence, and clarity. It is whole. It is that wholeness. It is that harmony, that peace, that joy. And we are one with it. That all the qualities of God live within us. And I celebrate that we are knowing our truth. We are knowing that whose and who we are. And that within us is this celebration of good. Knowing that God is our creator, creating us out of itself. So every part of us is a part of God. And we get to live out that in each moment of now, in everything we think and do and be. We are celebrating Spirit as it flows through us, uniting us, intuiting us, bringing us forth in new ways of being. And I am so grateful for this morning as it unfolds in perfect harmony and perfect wisdom and clarity that each one of us is partaking of all our good and partaking of the talk, knowing that it is for each one of us to accept and to live in this truth of who God is and who we are. And so knowing that we are here on purpose, we are here to celebrate, we are here as community to love each other and embrace each other in all our celebration can do. Knowing that all is good, all is well. I am so grateful for this truth, so grateful for each one of us, that we each make a difference, that we each, our beingness lights on each other and makes a huge difference. So knowing that we're already done, we're already so, I place these words into the law of action, of power, knowing that it's already done, it's already so, as we say together, and so it is. Let us now read a portion of our global vision mindfully together. We see a world that works for all, where human beings to spiritual magnificence, where forgiveness is the norm, where resources are valued, cared for, and shared, and where there is peace, harmony, and justice for all. Now let us read today's affirmation mindfully together. I celebrate as Spirit expresses all that is, and so it is.
Thank you, Tony. If you're here and you don't know what's going on and you're wondering why we're all dressed like this morning, it's because we have a special celebration and we have the, come on up. Come on up. Please welcome the Kalama brothers. We're so excited.
Good morning, everybody. Happy to be back, and I don't know how many of you were here the last time we performed, but this time my brother can actually sing, so it's going to be awesome. Awesome. Anyways, this song is an original song. It's called Understanding Next to Me, and it's all about, us as humans, we're all sharing the same planet. We don't always agree. Everybody has different viewpoints. We don't always have to agree with all these viewpoints, but what we can always do is find common ground, right? There's always that common ground. So understanding next to me, it's a play on words. Nobody's standing in front. Nobody's standing behind. Understanding next to me. All right, let's do it. 1, 2, 3, 4.
travel around the world and you stay in your hometown. We're on different frequencies. It's okay. We're all saying the same thing, baby. Can't you see? Understanding could be easy when you're standing next to me.
That's Lou on the bass.
We're all saying the same thing, baby. Can't you see? Understanding could be easy when you're standing next to me. Whoa, oh yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Marvelous.
Doing some fancy footwork up here. Let's give him another hand, shall we? So you have to hang out for the whole morning. We're going to have a great day here this morning and then this afternoon with the concert. My name is Reverend Alice Reid, and I'm so happy to be here with you today. So aloha, right? Aloha, aloha. Now let me look around. Did everybody get laid this morning? Did you get your lay? If you didn't, I know that Ray will be happy to lay you. So I don't know what you're laughing about. I don't understand at all. Oh boy. So here we are. We're in week 4 of our Love Ripples Outward program, where we've been talking about paradox all month. We've been having our adventure in faith. And an adventure in faith is a program that I'm sure this community, like many communities around the country, do every year this time. It's an opportunity for us to dive deep. It's an opportunity for us to do some programming that might support you as you might be looking for some kind of a shift or a change in your life. And I know that for me this year, our Adventures in Faith has been meaningful. It really has. It's cracked me open in ways I didn't expect, and it's moved energy within me. And so for those of you that joined us, we had workshops after our gathering every Sunday. And so the first Sunday we did something called the Fear to Faith. And that practice is really a practice of looking at those places where we might have allowed fear to become an obstacle in the things that we wanted to experience in life. And so the Fear to Faith process, the Fear to Faith process really takes us through a unexpected and amazing practice that shows us where our wires might get crossed. And then we do a spiritual practice to heal those unhealed places. And in the second week, we had a town hall meeting. And in the town hall meeting, we looked at, as a community, because that's been the vantage point, if you will, as we've been practicing this Adventures in Faith. We did a town hall meeting. We looked at where we've been as a community. We looked at where we are now. And then we were all invited to begin to think about the things that we really valued about our community and the things that might be obstacles to those values. And it was a very well-attended meeting, and the energy was great as people were really engaged and invested. And then last week, after service, we did a visioning practice. And the visioning, if you're not familiar with it, is a little different than creating a vision statement. It's a little different than maybe visualization. Visioning is a process where we really engage our imagination and our higher wisdom self
to capture what is God's highest idea for this center. And so we had a lot of people who practiced that with us as well. And so it's been really powerful for me to walk alongside you as we've been doing these different practices. And what I've noticed is that as we have been moving through this practice, we have been in this, shall I say, paradoxical space where we know change is needed, but we don't necessarily know what that change needs to be. We've been operating in what I call the liminal space, the place of the unknown. And what I have learned after my years of spiritual practice is that it's oftentimes that space in the unknown where something, some idea, some situation, some circumstance that is bigger than I could have conceived of myself comes forward. I dare say that we are actually in really good company as we occupy this in-between space of looking at who we are and who we were and who we hope to become, because it feels like the world is trying to figure that out as well as we look at systems that are breaking down and processes that used to work like clockwork. I mean, how many speakers of the House did we have? Like, things are shifting. And if you're like me, it's not a real comfortable place to be oftentimes when we're watching things change. The ground beneath our feet seems to be moving. But I also know it's these times when we move into that we allow ourselves to experience something that maybe we wouldn't have conceived of ourselves. And I know that as we've moved through the weeks and we've been looking at our community and we've been looking at the different potentialities that we have for this community, there are some of you have come up to me or communicated to me in one form or another, like, just lead, Alice. Just tell us what to do and we'll do it. But I can't do that. And the reason I can't do that is because that would be me preempting God. That would be me not really holding the space in the container so that God can communicate through us, through grace, what is ours to do next. And one of the things that I shared with you last week briefly was this model for consciousness called Kingdoms of Consciousness, and I want to share that with you. I'm going the right direction? Yes. Kingdoms of Consciousness, and I'm going to speak to it a little more in depth because it's a model for us to understand how we move with Spirit, how we move into that place where we can really be the expression of God in our life, and how we can be the expression of God in the center, or how we need to be the expression of God in the world at large. And so before I talk about this little model for you, I want to first ground us in this idea that we do teach that there's only one consciousness, one beingness, and that we are all individuated expressions of that one. And so when I talk about these kingdoms of consciousness, it's not really hierarchical, because I can be in kingdom 1 and then kingdom 4 within a few hours, sometimes like that. And the idea when we look at this model is to begin to locate and recognize ourselves when we are experiencing something. And so the first kingdom is the kingdom where we often experience life as happening to us, whether we're feeling victimized or maybe we're feeling powerless. The first kingdom has this characteristic and this nature of fear that can often, dare I say, infect us. I don't know about you, but when I'm full of fear, I'm really not at my best. I'm not making good decisions. I'm not really hearing people for what they're saying. And so this first kingdom is a kingdom that I think we're all familiar with. I know I am. We move into that second kingdom of consciousness, which is the place where we begin to feel empowered. And so that empowerment is really that place where we feel like life is happening by us. We're movers and shakers. We're making really good decisions. We've got lots of great ideas, and we're feeling empowered by them. It's a really wonderful place to be. And you know, when I think of that beautiful quote from Ernest Holmes, that there's a power for good in the universe greater than we are, and we can use it, that's second kingdom. It's an amazing place to begin to understand that we're working with a power greater than ourselves that is allowing us to use our gifts and our talents to make the world a better place when we're at the top of our game. And in there, the nature and characteristic that I often experience in Kingdom 2 is fixing. I'm fixing things. I'm making things right. I'm being used for the betterment of the people that I'm influencing. And it's, like I said, it's a very powerful place to be. Kingdom 3 is when we drop in through surrender to that mystical place where God moves through us. You might have had an experience of that, a spiritual experience, or perhaps just that experience of really being in the zone when you're doing something, you're talking to someone, you're singing, or you're doing some kind of expression, some art of yours, and you don't really recognize, it's like time kind of dissolves, right? So Kingdom 3 is that place of through me, and it's the place where we trust, we have faith, and follow through. And the follow through for me is grounded in spirit as opposed to just my good ideas. It's oftentimes the actions or the things that I'm working through look similar in Kingdom 2 and Kingdom 3, but in Kingdom 3 I've dropped into the word I have on the slide is unitive. The characteristics of Kingdom 1 and Kingdom 2 is there's still some othering, even if it's othering where I'm really trying to do good in the world and help somebody. I'm seeing them as outside of myself. But when I drop into Kingdom 3, that's when I begin to have a more unitive experience with the divine, where I know I'm being used, and so that I turn that quote around that I shared with you in Kingdom 2 of there is a power for good in the universe greater than we are, and it can use us. And it can use us. The differences are really subtle, but at the same time, what I'll tell you is often there'll be wonderful things that happen in my life when I'm in a King 3 experience. And I can't really honestly lay claim to them. It's like something, doors open, the right people call. I'm in the right place at the right time. It's a powerful place to live and to operate from. But it gets a little confusing because we live in a culture that really, we respect planning, strategizing, cultivating, and all of those things are necessary and important. But when I'm in King 3, I'm usually available to spirit in a way that transcends who I am and my best ideas. Does that make sense? Kingdom 4 is the kingdom where we have the experiences as me. I would say the models for me that have really lived from Kingdom 4 are the master teacher Jesus or Buddha, the Muhammad, the people who have individuals, light workers that have really surrendered their whole self so that they don't know where the divine starts or ends or where they begin. And so I wanted to lay this model out for you as we looked at this Adventures in Faith, because all the activities that we've been doing all along for the whole month have really worked us through the kingdoms. We did the Fear of the Faith in the week 1. That was Kingdom 1. That was the opportunity for us to really look at the places where we might be carrying fear and to release that. In week 2, when we did our town hall meeting, that was a Kingdom 2 experience. It was engaging and embracing your best ideas as they came forward. And then we dropped into Kingdom 3 with our visioning practice so that we could begin to open ourselves to a bigger idea for ourselves individually and for the community. And all of that will coalesce into some expression. And we don't really know what that expression is just yet. We have some good ideas. Your finance committee meets and they talk about some ideas and the board is taking some actions, but we're holding this container in a kind of Kingdom 3 corral, if you will, so that we can be open to what is the highest idea for God to express itself in our community, so that we can move through whatever changes want to happen. And we know changes are up for this community. And so we look at those changes, and when we look at it in this framework, I don't know about you, but it gives me a great deal of comfort that it's okay for me not to know exactly how things are going to be played out. And my job, and I invite you as individuals, your job is to hold for yourself this highest idea, this openness and this container for how God wants to express by means of us. I think I'm excited, I'm a little exhausted all at the same time because, change management, I don't know, it's not so easy. Let's see. I think that there's wisdom in all 4 of these kingdoms, and I think when we stay open and we can use our own powers of self-awareness to recognize what kingdom we might be working from as we're building consciousness, that's perfect. You do not need to be the master of circumstances. You do not have to figure everything out. What we do have to do is trust that there is a power in the universe. I like to call it the thing that makes the grass grow. I don't care where you've come up, atheist, Catholic, Jewish, Buddhist, all of us recognize that there is an energy, some kind of energetic flow that is moving through the earth that makes the grass grow. Or the cactus bloom, as the case may be. We have a lot of grass here in Southern California. What I can tell you is that when I keep this model for myself in front of me, and when I can raise my self-awareness to it, and when I can consciously and intentionally choose to want to live from a Kingdom 3 place, because frankly, when I think about the spiritual giants who live in Kingdom 4, I'm grateful when I can touch the hem. When I can honestly choose to have faith and then to follow through from a place that is faith-driven, where I, despite feeling, how I like to put it, grounded in midair, I know there are things that come forward for me, ideas come forward, or I meet somebody, or I start talking to somebody. Those are the things when I'm here to tell you, can I have a witness? Because I have experiences that were beyond anything I could have figured out on my own. Anything I could have figured out on my own. When I have that radical reliance on my faith, and I trust that thing that makes the grass grow is the same thing that breathes my body, it beats my heart, and helps me when I have an intention, it brings me into the right situations for those intentions to unfold. It's a really powerful model that can help us to really drop into a place of faith and trust. And what I know is that we are always operating on faith and trust. that even when we think we know, right? Even when we think we know. I did a fun thing with the kingdoms of consciousness with this idea of, you don't know in kingdom 1. You think you know in kingdom 2. You begin to, then in kingdom 3, you don't know that you know that you don't know. And then in kingdom 4, you know. Then you really know. But as we move through change in this community, as we wrap up this adventures in faith, as we hold tight, being open to the unknown and embracing it for all that the potentiality that it has for us, I know that we will continue to thrive as a community. When we looked at our values, the things you valued the most was a safe place to have friendships and colleagues, people who would walk by your side as you walk through on your own spiritual path. I have a very strong and high value that we are better together. And you prove that to me all the time. And as we sort of finish up this idea of paradoxes, I know that we're going to meet our goals for our pledge drive, because even though half of you haven't filled out your cards, we're still celebrating. We're celebrating today with a wonderful concert. We're celebrating knowing that our needs will get met because we are indeed doing God's work here. And God's work shows up as our prayer ministry. God's work shows up as our education ministry. It shows up as our camera and sound ministry that brings these talks out to the people who can't make it here on Sunday. It shows up through our practitioners. It shows up through our hospitality. It shows up through our animal kinship ministry. I got to take a breath. We are indeed doing God's work here. And I'm confident, and I absolutely know it is told in the principles that we teach that God always supports its work. So I'm very grateful for each one of you that have come here this morning to celebrate the good work that God is doing as this center, the good work that God is doing as our beautiful musicians who are going to be doing concert for Maui Relief, that God is always supporting us if we open ourselves to it. Thank you very much. So let's pray. Once again, I lower my gaze and open my heart, trusting that the power and the presence, the very power that has the earth revolve around the sun is the same power that is coursing through my veins. That there is a unification of that one life, that one power, that it wants to experience life through me, and that as I raise my awareness to it, I recognize that it is a power with, that I am empowered by, and that spirit expresses itself in a unique and perfect way as me and as each one here and as each one within the sound of my voice. So we accept that. We accept that power. We accept that love. We accept that grace. And we trust that even though things may look like they're changing, the one thing that stays the same is the love of the Creator for its creation. And so we accept that blessing right here and right now, knowing that we are blessed, that we are carried when we need to be carried, and that we carry others when we need to carry them, and that all of this is the work of the one divine intelligence as it moves in, as, and through each one. So I give great thanks for this. I let it go. I let it be. And if you agree with me, please say, And so it is. Thank you. And now it's my great pleasure to bring back up, come on up, guys, the Kalama Brothers. And come back up. The band will join them.
Thank you, Reverend Alice. What a beautiful lesson, and it kind of goes in with the song that we're about to play. Wrote this song kind of as an idea of what would happen, on the other side, and kind of had this feeling that, the Great Spirit was saying to me, like, well, didn't you know there was actually no, like, real, like, devil or Satan or anything like that? And I was like, maybe that's what everything's like, the duality of life is within, right? We have the good and the bad, we have the potential of all of that, but take that away and, you can become one with the Great Spirit, with the great consciousness, and I think that's probably what this is about. But
Nailed it.
this one's called Hard Enough. This one's by us.
Somebody should have told you that the devil didn't really appear. I'm telling you now, it's insecurity wrapped up in fear. 'Cause it's in everyone and it's in everything. It's just the opposite of good. It isn't wrong to be bad. You did what you could. Isn't it hard enough as it is? Don't listen too close to what's been set in stone. There's people around you who won't leave your souls alone. Oh, but how could you forget the rain? You know the happiness and grief bleed from the same vein. What you could. Isn't it hard enough as it is? The other side of what we are, it isn't underground or very far. It'll catch up with you in time. Yeah. The other side of what we are, it isn't underground or very far. Thank you, guys.
Let's give the Kalama Brothers one more huge applause. Thank you for being here. We love you. We're excited to get some more of that, aren't we? I'd like to acknowledge our music program here this morning and our songbirds that bring this light and love each morning. Let's give them a beautiful hand. And our beautiful band, Music, our director, Diane King Van. Thank you so much. Music really is the love language of life. And now it is time for our conscious, committed giving. If I'd like to invite our ushers to come up to the front, please. This is a time where we get to share love with each other, love for our center, support our center. And I invite you this morning to just celebrate this together. There are a couple of ways that you can give this morning. There's envelopes in the back of each one of the seats, or you can do PayPal if you're online. You can mail it in to us. And we also want to just make sure that everybody understands that these are for our love giving, committed giving baskets. And if you are giving for these to support the benefit concert this afternoon, there's a box up front where you walked in. So please join me in reading our affirmation. My offering is my acceptance of God as the source of my supply and symbolizes my faith in the abundant flow of this supply.
Please join me on I Release. Here we go. I release, I let go. I let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. One more time. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is opened wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God.
You could applaud that. Blessed be these gifts of conscious giving, knowing that giving is only half the law of increase and circulation, receiving the other half. As you give, you shall receive. We bless these offerings as it goes back into the world through our staff, our vendors, and our sanctuary of love. And so it is. Do we have any guests here for the very first time? We'd like to just acknowledge you. Any guests for the first time, if you could just raise your hand for us so we can bring you a gift. Beautiful. We're absolutely delighted you're here this morning. We have a gift bag for you up front, please. Thank you. And inside there, you'll find a gift and a card. And if you'll fill the card out and bring it to our bookstore where you walked into the sanctuary, we have another gift for you. So welcome. And we'd like to do some acknowledgments right now. First, I'd just like all of our volunteers to stand up. If you have volunteered in any capacity this week, could you stand up so we can give you some love? These are the people that make everything happen at our center. It makes our Sunday services happen. it makes our programs that take place, it makes the food, it makes everything work, and we are absolutely blessed. Thank you so much. And inside this group, we have practitioners, and our practitioners are trained in the art and science of prayer. So today, because we're having a benefit concert, they're not going to be in the back, but we still have an offer for you if you'd like to take one of their cards on the back wall. If you're in need of a prayer or something that you'd like lifted and gifted in your life, please pick up one and give one of our practitioners a call. That would be fantastic. And I think it's time for our announcements. Clark? Come on up.
Oh, that is so much fun. Conscious Connection will resume meetings after the service next week. This week, please enjoy the Kalama Brothers concert that follows the Hawaiian feast, which has been prepared for us. November 5th, how about that, huh? November 5th is Homecoming Sunday, and it's also Potluck Sunday. If you bring a friend on Potluck Sunday, both of you will receive a very nice gift. Our Thanksgiving Eve service and dessert potluck will be Wednesday, November 22nd at 7 p.m. The following Sunday, November 26th, our guest vocalist will be Kelly Corsino. After the service, Kelly will present a sound bath workshop, and no, you do not have to take off your clothes to get into the sound bath. Holiday Boutique and Brunch, December 3rd. Start crafting and preparing to sell your wares that Sunday. Is a great opportunity to do some Christmas shopping as well. Golly Mugwumps Batman, that is a lot of stuff. A lot of activities. We're just gearing up for December's schedule of activities. More about that in the next couple of weeks. We still have $200 to give to anyone who refers someone who leases one of the vacant offices upstairs. This Wednesday at 6:30 p.m., you are invited to Meditation, Metaphysics, and Mysticism with Reverend Alice. We have 3 weekly small groups which are open to anyone and everyone. Wednesdays with Mary is a book study on Zoom. Shifting Sands meets on Thursday, both in person and on Zoom. Coming Home, Awakening to Spirit on Friday mornings at 8 a.m. on Zoom, facilitated by Joyce Fournier. Read about these and other activities here at CSLCV in this colorful flyer located in the lobby or in the highly creative and totally informative pop-up video on our website at cslcv.org. Okay, we're going to sing first and eat later.
Take a look at the person next to you. Say, I recognize the God in you. Recognize the God in you. Feel the love in the sanctuary. Feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me. Yeah, 'cause we come together. Come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love, we come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love. Take a look at the person next to you. Look at the person next to you. Say, God loves me and I love you too. Loves me and I love you too. Feel the love in the sanctuary. Feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me. 'Cause we come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love, we come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love. In the name of love. In the name of love.
Know with me now that this afternoon, as we celebrate our center, we also support the Maui disaster relief. with love. And so it is. Woo.